changes here. That's Scotland. It's all about bit of red behind it, yellow and white in the middle. 6:30, 15th, 10th, 2021. Still control. Now, in Europe, still got ahead. In Europe, they have all these volcanoes going off as well. There's a list of, in England, Public Health England Limited Company, Public Health England Limited Company, Wellington House, City in London, UK, SE1 8, I can't remember, can't read the postcode, Dun and Bradstreet.co.uk, the Dun company number, Duns 225360320, HN Courts and Tribunal Services. One is in London. I didn't catch that. I've downloaded the document, but with my friend's help. Every town and city they're set up with their own companies. It's all commerce and business. House of Commons. Finally got my DUNS number, which is going to be helpful eventually. The House of Commons. SW1A. OAAA London, England. Dun Bradstreet number is 2399. Department of Health and Social Care Limited Company, 39 Victoria Street, London, postcode SW1HOEU. Company Dun and Bradstreet number is 22. And I've got to see this right, I have to double check this later. 225360326. And you can, I'm just watching this, guys, to see if it will flash red in a moment. Bright red. Anyway, yeah, that was just interesting. A link I was sent because this brain technology, interface technology, electronic torture of target individuals worldwide, violations of God-given rights, naturally. It's gone, doesn't stop. The demonic side of life is definitely very, very much like that. There is finance and business, making profit out of individuals worldwide in this program. So the future of transhumanism. You see certain, you know what, allegedly, to control human brain. There's alternative platforms out there. boundaries of self and whether I'm getting hacked constantly. What's mm-hmm. It's interesting that every device gets hacked. You put things at airplane mode and it's still got. Find that world we're living in. So there's a presumption in there. Rebuttals to presumptions. Presumptions. The burden of proof lays on. Yeah, the violations of due processes is being made by corporations in England. I know who they are. Rebuttal of presumed facts. There is disinformation and lies being made about my private life collectively by public servants and all falsifying documents. The cohesiveness is being done and there isn't a lawful remedy. Violation of gospel. And the abuses these agents are constantly causing. Yeah, the misuses, abuse and misuses of the word law by public servants in England. These are all public or private companies are doing them. Now I've got to check. video on a Friday and get limited employees. Yeah, again, they're hacking my phone. 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 This is where the hacking going on. Trying to watch the sky and hacking. I can hear hacking on this phone. Yeah. There's also the collapse of the volcano in Spain, La Palma, going on a long time. It's an update on that. And then we're just seeing timestamp there. Picture of the being completely destroyed. It's not just for the right. I've got to play that video back. I don't know if I'll find it in a long time. I'll have a look. Against the Grain YouTube channel, see if I can find it. Trying to rest my head. Now the hacking hearing feedback is not me. It's how they hack into your technology. Now we'll get into history, so I'm gonna find it. And they got robotic technology. Yeah, the strongest earthquakes over in Spain. The risk of citron, how did it say? I've got to find it. A bushcraft bear said there's a risk. I'm not sure if it's actually going to happen. There's all sorts going on in the world, but it's also knowing about who you are lawfully and knowing that we don't. Now also, sadly, there's an individual that is claimed to have passed away in England. They called him. You can't be a member of parliament because member of parliament is a limited company. House of Commons is a corporation. Company number 232124099 in England, in London. So did that corporation pass away? The man might have passed away. It's mainstream UK media saying it happened. God rest anyone's soul that's passed away. And the times we're living in. Don't know about comets and the pole shift effects. There you go. It went red. Just over there, I've caught it. Might now. You can't tell on a small frame, but yeah, you can't see on webcams very clearly the comets and the planetary systems above our heads over the Earth. And let me see if I can find Against the Grain. I'm going to keep that focus and see if it just goes naturally dark. That's meant. Okay, whatever. 5 to 7. UK time. Now I'm going to go through see if I can find the things are grown. Let's see if I can find it. The transhumanism, linking up mind and body to machine. Technology, sadly, is already here. So when you get knocked to the head, I had a head injury yesterday, so it's a few days yet I've got to still rest. Right, I'm going to just try and see if I can find where it was. Control of earth and weather and transhumanism is mixed. The history, I'm just going to type in a website. Anyone can search this out. Educateyourself.org, and there's a history of in England, in my area especially, and nationally actually, worldwide actually, trans to test this technology onto innocent individuals, target individuals. So if you become enlightened to subject over the years, then one is going to be monitored, targeted. Biotechnology, the advancement is off the charts. I couldn't even tell you how sickening the demonic is, because these demonic demons, they sold their souls out when they don't realise when they become a certain degree level in Freemasonry, the Druids and 13 bloodline families. They sold the soul. There's no getting out of it, and not these people realise, and they've got to live for themselves. So if anyone stumbles across facts and they're just sharing facts, you now have to be extremely careful. They're putting my life at risk every day, and they don't care who is spared for their progress of advanced technology. There's a really good movies out there. The Ultimate is actually out in the public domain. There's an article, 2015. I didn't even know this then. About uploading the consciousness, personalities to a supercomputer. Yeah, it's called brain interface technology. AI. It's more than AI. It's much more advanced. It's on Amazon Prime shows. There's a program called Upload, and they're telling you what they're doing in that format. TV shows, movies, that kind of thing, sci-fis, and testing out the technology unconsensually on innocent individuals who have not done anything unlawful to any individual, is put on a list claiming they've done something, and the falsifying of documents by MI5, MI6, whatever you want to call them, and worldwide the similar equivalent. It is being passed about online, on the dark web, without even you knowing what's really said about you, to be able to rebut the assumptions lawfully. The next minute you know, you've got the organised stalking on a level. It's just like it's community watch on steroids, you know. Set up your little community groups. It's a bit like go back in the war years and just watching the sky. Yeah, unfortunately it went recording. So So let's have a look at transhumanism then. Assuming the sky did go red, I call it. Because a lot of people are talking about certain subjects, not covering the real in depth. Let me just see if I can find any transhumanism. Living forever. Could we live forever? This was 6 years ago, and on a UK channel, putting the Neuralink chip in the back of the brain. Getting really demonic it is. Transhumanism, how far would you go for a body upgrade? Again, this is all interlinked, what's going on in the world now. It's not merely the devices one may think of having implanted, but companies that gain power over you, individually representative of the agents of these corporations. Having upgraded skills sounds great, but it's difficult to imagine a scenario which one did not give up one's lawful rights. Yeah, sadly, modern-day people would live by any means for an instant gratification, a new world pause with their own actual identity, to link everybody to the same. It's like we all hate who are in the world, but live forever. So he ultimately wants to live forever. The transplant device, so I can see clearly, a built-in internet-connected GPS, a small pop-ups, reminders I can control. Turning off would be great, just so I can remember things, and how would I go about combining that with, honestly, just be, you see, this is all being implied to mix the flesh and blood, living soul and man and woman, individuals, to the machine. We want to create the producing the Neuralink implants. They already have implants from a long time ago, the technologies anyway, but it's more advanced. So the movies Avatar came out a long time ago. Upload consciousness and then download it into an avatar body. Who knows? Upgrading the abilities of the brain. It should not lose our physical bodies connected. Our souls are important. There's certain things why this agenda is being pushed. It's so beautiful just to be human, living flesh and blood, but God intended to make us as whole, not to turn us into machines and end up being an ownership of a corporation as a complete superhuman of slaves raised to the globalist elites and demonic entities. And you won't need a doctor, you won't need public services because it'll be controlled by the technology within the body, mixed within the technology of transhumanism. So if you don't want to take the offer of transhumanism process and technology, then you just naturally die. You need to get your documents in order to make sure that your nano machines and technology is not going to be using your natural body parts when you pass away for selling on the dark black market, maybe. So that might be something worth knowing, because the chip and implants have been around for a long time, and the technology, dangerous as making humans immortal. You would want that, and that is mixing the machines, the technology. And why do you think they experiment on people without their consent? So people become aware of this. Human guards and technology. I mean, the human guards and technology. You see, if you don't become spiritually aware of the demonic, I mean, they've been having these conversations and different corporations about understanding transhumanism, online conversation. Humans behind machines. What kind of demonic entities creates? The World Economic Forum, of course, the 13 bloodline demonic families throughout history to date. And again, TED Talks, avoiding prejudice in the future world of transhumanism. The Senate as something good. How we become cyborgs and extend human potential. Cyborg futuristics and transhumanism conversation. This has nothing to do with science. The new world of human genetic engineering, playing God with DNA. Sadly. What is transhumanism? And that was back in 2019 discussing it. Transhumanism technology. You see so many people have been selling this as a great idea. And then you have AI. Neuralink. Merging your brain with artificial intelligence. Elon Musk, merging your brain.
Hey, I'm Talon, and this is Rumpus, and I'm going to show you how to start an online t-shirt business. Let's go. First.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to one more 365 Data Science Special.
Okay.
Neuralink, Elon Musk's neurotech, made headlines in July of 2019. It's their brand new product, a futuristic technology that would allegedly allow humans to work with machines and become cyborgs. Everything was fine, though, as it would save us from the otherwise imminent overtake of an ultra-smart AI overlord. In this video, we'll try to look beyond the hype and hullabaloo of the presentation and reveal some ground information about Neuralink's technology. But before we get started, we'd like to quickly tell you we put together a very comprehensive data science training. The 365 Data Science program can back to Neuralink. Groundbreaking, or treading on familiar ground. What exactly is Neuralink? Basically, what Neuralink invented is a cognitive implant, which will store information signals in the brain and will use that information to create impulses of its own, thus helping us combat neurodegenerative diseases such as Parkinson's and paralysis. Furthermore, it could enable amputees to use and navigate prosthetics. If you've seen the presentation, you probably wonder, is this technology completely groundbreaking, or is it old news, just packaged in a shiny paper of great advertising? Let's find out together as we delve into what Neuralink does and the challenges it's currently facing. And as an extra bonus point, we'll also see an application of a machine learning technique in the context of neuroscience. So stay tuned. But first, let's start by explaining the essence of BMIs. BMI stands for Brain-Machine Interface, and is a direct communication pathway between an enhanced or wired brain and an external device. The Neuralink implants are a type of BMI, comprised of threads that contain multiple electrodes. Once implanted in the brain, these electrodes detect brain activity and, more specific.
Why do you think they need to test this technology on innocent individuals in the first place? Ways to trust God, no matter what you do in your belief systems. Elon Musk presenting, this is a frontman, it's military technology. Plan to merge humans with AI. AI hacking without humans. Can human brains be hacked? And this is 2 years ago.
With the University of London,
And let's have a look at the bio. So basically, cybersecurity individuals, consulting companies, artificial intelligence models are built with type of machine learning and deep neural networks, DNNs, which are similar to neurons in the brain and make the machine capable of mimicking human behaviors, like decision making, reasonable and problem solving. The presentation will discuss security, ethical and privacy concerns surrounding technologies and learning objectives, solutions to adversary AI will come from a combination of technology and policy, and stakeholders. Who is really behind all this? We say, can the brain be hacked? There's a lot of information out there about this. Mind males and brain teams, they want just one mind, hive mind. The reset, artificial intelligence, pros and cons. Turning the tide on police surveillance is all going into computerization. Mind control technology, the customer's choices. I'm just going back and looking how long. Brain implants and mind reading. This is about it. It's Bluetooth, cell towers, Wi-Fi, there's 5G. I mean, you need to scroll through these kind of information you'll find. Mind promoting interface technology 4 years ago. It's way before I knew what's what. Wizards of Oz, the powers of probability. AI and neuroscience, artificial personalities. Upload to supercomputer. Hacking the brain, can we trust our own thoughts? You would have control of the technology. And then you had 3 years ago, Two robots debate the future of humanity. This is demonic. The big reset, changing the world. The future after capitalism, planet of robots, future automation. That was 4 years ago. Now, Edward Snowden and the likes
Да-да,
of
вы не
him.
ослышались.
There's a lot of people like him got the truth about what's been going on for a long time. Why upgrading humanity is a transhumanism myth. That was 2 years ago. And then you've got so many other similar. How close are we to uploading our minds? Why would you want to do that? Can we upload consciousness? See? They're testing out the technology on target individuals without consent. So you've got transhumanists versus humanist, a special online debate a year ago. Nanorobots inside you 7 years ago. 7 years ago. Who knew this existed? And the world in 2050. So, Futurology YouTube channel. There you go. Didn't want it. You want to live forever. It's up to you. But I do not. So, I'm just going to show you this very, I find, Sister in Christ YouTube channel about what's going on with the weather. God's wrath is going to hit on Earth and wipe this demonic activity out.
Good afternoon, family. I have an article here regarding if you haven't accepted Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior and you want to, you believe in the finished work of Jesus Christ at the cross, that He's the only true Messiah and He's the only way to God the Father. If you believe that and you repent and you ask Him for forgiveness and you want Him to come into your heart and you don't want to live for this world anymore, that doesn't mean that you have a green card to sin, because when the Holy Spirit dwells in you, you don't want to hurt Him like that anymore. Do we sin? Yeah, we're born into sin. But that's why Jesus died on the cross. And God knows everybody's heart. If you want to live for Christ, ask Him for forgiveness. Believe that He is the true Messiah. Perfect example is the thief at the cross.
Amen to that. You can go and watch that. Cool. She relates to. Mainstream media news round. An hour ago. Volcano lightning bolt strikes across the top of the volcano. Hundreds of people have been told to leave their homes because of the rock continues to spread from the volcano Spanish island of La Palma. Volcanoes already destroyed large areas of the land, covering the ground in northern ash. The first eruption in the middle of September 2021. So far, more than 6,000 people have been evacuated, which is home to 83,000 people. After a large earthquake, another 300 living between the towns, it quotes which ones, were told on Thursday, which is yesterday's date, as a precaution. with emergency crews allowing individuals a few hours to collect their belongings and pets before they go to meeting point. Okay. No serious injuries have been reported on the island and nobody has been killed since the eruption began. A smoke eruption of the volcano yesterday's date, 14 October 2021. Earth tremors have been recorded almost constantly since 19 September 2021. Thursday morning, a 4.5 earthquake shook the island. Spanish National Institute graphic geologist also said it was the strongest of 100 earthquakes that have hit the eruption zone in the past 24 hours. The movement of the magma of the volcano is hot rock deep underground. It's one of the things that can trigger earth tremors, and they claim scientists pay close attention to the earthquakes in case they mean there will be more eruptions from the volcano. The big question, why do volcanoes actually erupt? Another possibility is the emptying of the volcano's magma chamber. And if you imagine the volcano's stomach as a chamber, a large pot of hot liquid rock beneath the surface, and it empties during an eruption. The rock around it can shift and move. Will the eruption end soon? The lava, the hot liquid that has broken out through surface, has been leaking from the volcano for 4 weeks. Individuals and employees of these corporations imply they are expecting a lava flow to keep moving northwest from the volcano, with a flow from 3 rivers of marble rock spreading over 1.7 kilometers of the island. The red-hot lava already destroyed, and it quotes what houses and buildings in the areas and the fumes in the week. The flow has also covered banana and plantations, important to the island's economy. Because of the fruit is sold, it's avoided around the world. So that's mainstream, a news item, news round, UK news item. So I'll go back to the lady, sister in Christ. Never fear what's going on around you. God is in full control for everything. You see, may the Lord bless all those affected by all what I just said today in the stream. Hang in there, stay strong. It's not easy following the Lord. We are scored at, targeted, set up, you name it. We'll give up over earthly dreams or fleshly desires, where the enemy offers is short-lived. But heaven is forever. Life may seem to be unfair, but God is with you always. Remember that. Things may get better or better or worse for others and I, but a kingdom awaits one. Finish the race, repent daily, and carry your cross. The world is fading fast, the troubles are temporary. New channel, that's a quotation. So, earth is temporary, life is temporary, and it's focusing on spirituality. So the transhumanism for those that believe they want to live forever. So whatever you're doing, the volcano with the potential to cause the waters to rise far from that direction, and it can change again, affecting the north part of England, America, inland waters. Then you have the pole shifts. Then you have the planetary body shifting that you can only see with specialist television. Yeah, you can't just see the naked eye. And the important part is that the invention, all these years of brain interface, chips, transhumanism, powers that be will never be able to, military, no matter who it is in the world, to get information out to the populace that there's and the axis and the pole shifts changing. The creation of the rivers, if you live by coast, and rivers to rise, and volcanoes around the world, and how that is affecting Earth changes. So if you haven't researched duns, the underground bunkers, and deep dumps and the bunkers, and why for a long time storing up seeds of all different plant life, animal life, and it is so intense and it's been going on for a long time. Anyone that has been put into testing, worldwide companies to test this technology out on top, it's always a reason for this, and it's been going on for centuries, more persecution than ever, and within the history of nobility, a lot of people are not awakened to certain subjects, so powers that be are monitoring those that have just a slight indication of awakening, slight information or research, slight this, slight that, and then before you know it, you're in the unconventional program. So let's have a look. So you got, I'll play this, and she is Sisters of Christ. I'll play the full video.
This guy was crucified next to Jesus, and he said, "Jesus, remember me when you enter your kingdom." And right then and there, Jesus said, "You will be a perfect example," because he truly believed that he was the Messiah. Excuse me. This La Palma volcano, 300 evacuated as lava flows from Cumbria. Vaje, VIEGA eruption continues. Hundreds more people have been told to leave their homes as molten rock continues to spew from the Cumbria Vaje, I might have said that wrong, volcano on the Spanish island of La Palma. The volcano has already destroyed large areas of land, covering the ground in lava and ash since the first eruption in middle of September. Excuse me. So far, more than 6,000 people have been evacuated on the island, which is home to 83,000 people. After a large earthquake, another 300 people living between the towns of Tazacorte and La Laguna were told to leave on Thursday as a precaution, with emergency crews allowing residents a few hours to collect their belongings and pets before they had to go to a meeting point. No serious injuries have been reported on the island, and nobody has been killed since the eruption began. Earth tremors have been recorded almost constantly since the first eruption. On Thursday morning, a 4.5 magnitude earthquake shook the island. Officials from Spain's National Geographic Institute said it was the strongest of 100 quakes that have hit the eruption zone during the past 24 hours. The movement of magma, which is hot molten rock deep underground, is one of the things that can trigger the earth tremors. Scientists are paying close attention to the earthquakes in case they mean there will be more eruptions from the volcano. Excuse me. Another possibility is the emptying of the volcano's magma chamber. If you imagine the volcano's stomach, the magma chamber is a large pool of hot liquid rock beneath the surface. Once it empties during an eruption, the rock around it can shift and move, causing the tremors. Will it end soon? Lava, the hot liquid rock that has broken out through the surface, has been leaking from the Cumbre Vija volcano for 4 weeks. Authorities say they are expecting lava flow to keep moving northwest from the volcano, with the flow from 3 rivers of molten rock spreading over 1.7 kilometers of the island. The red-hot lava has already destroyed about 1,500 houses and other buildings, including a cement plant that gave off toxic fumes earlier this week. The flow has also covered banana and avocado plantations, which are important to the island's economy because the fruit is sold and exported around the world. I'll leave this link in the description box. So, accept Jesus as Lord and Savior. We don't have much more time. Is this volcano going to cause a tsunami? Very good possibility. Hopefully not. Time will tell. So, if there's anything more that happens, and I'm sure there will be, I will be back on. I love all of you. I pray for all of you every day. I try to reply to everybody. Sometimes it's difficult. I watch my grandson during the day, and then I work at night. But I pray for each and every one of you, and I'm looking forward to the day where I get to meet all of you. Remember, we're meeting by the brownies. So be strong. We are in the home stretch. I know we keep saying that, and we wake up, and it is a bummer that we're still here, but God's timing is perfect. There could be a family member, a friend that still needs to be saved. God doesn't want, we're all his children. He doesn't want anybody to perish. Somebody said, well, we're not all God's children. Technically we are. God gives us free will. And he gives us that free will because he loves us. He wants us, our own heart and our own accord, to accept Jesus as Lord and Savior and go to the path of righteousness that leads us to heaven. Some people choose a different path. Some people don't believe. And that's a shame, because they're going to spend eternity in hell. Once you're in hell, there's no getting out. There's no break time. Some people don't accept that gift of salvation. And that's really sad. Accept the gift of salvation. Don't put your trust in this world, man, because I'm telling you, it'll let you down. They're already predicting this is going to be a tough winter.
Actions or whatever things that you might not have done. Hi, AJ. I was in Surviving the Storms chat last night when hearing about what's happening with you. The reality is the gang stalking is ridiculous. I mean, right here on YouTube. I mean, I'm telling you, right here on YouTube. They single a person out for whatever reason, albeit for a profit from them or just for the drama whoring or whatever, and to make someone look like they're somebody they're not. Hi, Awake World. I have to say, because as I was doing my search, I found other people with my same name. Well, now whether they really are, that is real. Their real name, or they're using it, because I have a pretty unusual name. And to find someone that plays for the LA Galaxy with my name, that was kind of blew me away. But which is a soccer team here in Los Angeles. And that they live in the same town I live. And another one, a younger kid, also named Scott Schmier. But the point I'm making is the gang stalkers have been calling me a murderer, rapist, thief, whatever, whatever they can imagine. Well, I found someone in Oklahoma with my name that was convicted of a bunch of such things, which, in my last video, I made it perfectly clear in not so nice language that I'm not that guy. But what that stems back to is the targeting aspect, why they might target you for whatever reason. I initially, through my targeting, really understood that they were targeting me about my artwork and my comic book ideas and how they were stealing them, and that. Well, later on, I found out, through recollection and confessions through the people on B2K, that 20 years ago, when I lived in Long Beach, I wrote a song. I write a lot of songs. I play a lot of music. But I wrote a song that there were a couple guys sitting out in front of my apartment, which was the front apartment in this building, and they recorded it on a boombox. And I understand that they recorded it on a boombox now because they were sitting there with the boombox. And not too long after that, a well-known group, a well-known band, came up on the radio playing the very song that I wrote. Didn't change anything but a few words, just a very few words. Didn't change any of the guitar work, any of it. And I'm sure if you've ever listened to rock and roll music, you've heard the song. I'm not going to mention it. I mean, you can look back in my videos and you can see one of the B2K recordings where they literally mention it, and they mention the people that they say they're working for that were targeting me. Well, this is from 20 years ago. I'm talking about this song, and it was a #1 song for several weeks. But the reason I knew that they had taken it is I was driving around in my car one day, and I had the radio on, and all of a sudden there's these people on the radio playing my song, singing my song, just like I would sing. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a guy that's gonna cry, but I got really pissed and I started crying, angry tears. And I screamed at the top of my lungs, "You stole my fucking music!" And the first thing I thought was, how the fuck do I prove it? Because I hadn't recorded it. They recorded it. They recorded me playing. But the people stalking me, using remote neural monitoring, have badgered me about it, showing me myself, in my apartment, playing this song I wrote, and saying, "Ha ha ha, fuck you, you can't prove this," if you understand what I mean. If you can understand the stress factor involved in that. Yeah, I got a haircut. You notice that? I have to say, Missy, I had some idiot. She came in here talking about, for anybody watching, I'm so fake, right? That you can tell I'm wearing a wig. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm 54 years old, and this is all my hair. Always been my hair. Talking some crap about my backdrop, saying I was trying to fake that it was daytime because there's a light behind it. I can turn it on right now because it's in the kitchen. But and saying some crap about, oh, he's definitely part of the government. And I will have to say this. I have to make this clear. Should I have had any connection with the government, I'd have already busted the shit out of gang stalkers. I'd have busted the fuck out of them. So don't even go there. Don't even go there. I mean, yeah, you get the thing with people that, when you seem to know a hell of a lot about, gang stalking, that they're understanding, and it's like they know what's happening to them. They'll say, "Oh, you're a perp." I can understand that. I mean, because if you're well experienced in being gang stalked, and you understand the V2K, and you've researched the neural monitoring and the street theater tactics and all the crap, and I have. You have a pretty intimate understanding of what gang stalking is and how it works. So that's understandable. But when someone flat out that doesn't know a damn thing, clearly, I mean, talking about you're clearly wearing a wig and that you're fake and all this, I'm going to say this again. Every video I've done on gang stalking, several of them I've said, I'm presenting facts, research, patents, experience. And I am not going to ever embellish on that. I'm going to present you the facts of my experience, and they're going to be as accurate as I can bring my experience, my recollection, and things that have happened to me through gang stalking. And I'll say this again: if you think I'm lying, you can go download you a facial recognition software, voice stress analyzation software, and you can mull back through every freaking one of my videos. And when you think you've found deceit, evasion, or lies, I want you to bring that to me, because there ain't going to be any. So, that being said, I'm putting that to bed. Yeah, well, see, I've also presented some of the ideas I've had for inventions, and they've stole them too. These people are regardless of the ideology of star seeds chosen, 144,000, the other things, all the theories as to why they're doing this. The one theory is absolute. They're profiting from your suffering, from your intellectual property, your history, and using you for views. For what riding your coattails somehow to profit from you in some illegal manner. Now, the process will be different probably through certain people, because not everybody's an artist like me or a musician. Not everybody's a inventor. Not everybody's a personality. But the thing that stands true to everyone is the program or the script is the same. Okay, but like any book, they will put you in it and cater the story around you. Maybe a little different here, but the scenario is the same, but the story will change to suit you personally. So, and as I was saying to AJ, if you're still here, what I saw going on with you, that's gang stalking. I mean, it may be a different manner. I don't know if you're a targeted individual. I heard somebody saying that they were I think Captain was saying he was having a personal conversation with you somewhere or someplace, and they heard all of it. I said it, that reminds me of what remote neural monitoring, because I'm just saying, I'm not saying definite, but the process sounds like one of you was being remote neural monitored. And why I say that is because when you are being when they use remote neural monitoring on you, which is the brain to computer interface, you are now the surveillance equipment. Your eyes, your ears, your thoughts you're the surveillance equipment. They don't need a camera, they don't need a microphone, because you're all of those. You can look it up in the patents. I've provided patents. They've been doing this for years. Okay, granted, NSA, military, whoever created this shit, whoever created this technology, it's no longer under their control. There are criminals using it. And I'll say again, it's not a mystery to them. It's not a mystery to them because it got out of their control, and they're afraid of it because it is out of their control and it will cause panic. That's my logical assessment of the reason why Havana syndrome is a mystery. Because the reality is it has all the aspects. When I was first, I call it scanned into the RNM system, I felt the disorientation, the dizziness, the sickness, the popping, there's several aspects of when you're first connected to with whatever the EMF broadcasting technology, which is remote neural monitoring, which connects to your nervous system, your visual cortex, your auditory nerves, and they can formulate your thought process. I provide the patents and just that that you clearly can read yourself. And if you research remote neural monitoring, you're going to see the aspects I'm talking about. And on more than one piece of literature. Yeah, I said it before. It sounds like a Twilight Zone or an Outer Limits episode, but it's real technology, and these are real criminals. Some targets, they present themselves as God, or they present themselves as aliens, or FBI, NSA. They're gonna lie, and what they feed on is your belief system. And how they feed on your belief system is what you're passionate about. They're going to use that to guide your thinking and your projected view of what's happening to you. But it's all going to be a lie. The simple gist is they're a syndicate of criminals that got a hold of the technology that someone else invented, or however. I mean, you can look up yourself companies, people that hire people to gang stuff. You can look it up yourself. Now, as far as the medical profession aspect of it, the premise that all targets are schizo, paranoid, that the voices are in your head. Well, as I've said before, I literally prove in front of you that you can record B2K and it's not coming out of your head. Now, granted, the recordings I have, it's hard to understand what they're saying, but there are people speaking using the B2K technology, which resembles Audio Spotlight. You can Google Audio Spotlight yourself and see how it works. It's a TED Talks from the person that invented it. And the premise for the focusing on a single target in a crowded room with voices is real shit. Now, the other aspect of where, you can hear them, that comes with either an advanced product of it or the neural monitoring aspect. But that's it. That's true, Missy. We all go through different things on it, but it's all the same thing. And the reason they do that is so that you don't have a clear path, if you understand what I mean. It's not like a carbon copy every person, right? You get me? Not like everything is the same with every person, so that there's a definite evidence of it all being the same. Because, like I said, they cater it to the person, and yes, they do, John. Yes, they do. Everything you're watching on television, everything I'm saying to you and watching myself on YouTube, they're watching it. They're listening to it. Everything like I said, you are now, if you're on remote neural monitoring, if you are being connected to the brain computer interface, you are now the surveillance equipment. You're the equipment. You're the device now. And as I've said before, you can't have a firewall for your brain. There's no apparatus to like put Norton on your brain function to block incoming connection, which is basically what this is. It's kind of like your personal IP, your EEG, and your nervous system and your thought processes are your own. No two are alike, like a fingerprint. So that's how they're able to focus on you. At least that's my understanding through research and dilemma. Well, talking about your sleep deprivation, they kept me awake 24/7 for almost a year. That's what I was getting ready to talk about, that they did over a year and a half ago. They kept me awake for almost a full year. Zero sleep. I'm talking zero sleep.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Now, if you understand how the human brain works, if you do not get a certain amount of sleep, let's say you do 2 hours, even a little bit of REM sleep, it causes damage. It will cause damage. It can. So imagine a whole year, and I mean a whole year of no sleep. I will say this, maybe you are implanted, but they don't need to. If you understand what I'm saying. I mean, I know exactly when I was scanned. I know who did it, and when I felt it. I've talked about it in a previous video. But I'm sure there's more than one patent, more than one kind of this technology, but it still has the same horrific outcome. Now, I will say, what we can hope for is that the mainstream, recognition that Havana syndrome is getting, which is, in my opinion, 90% copy of what gang stalking is for the general public. That some how much you or I reported it. I mean, like I said, I've been to the FBI much time about it, on copy, printing copy on their ICS3 website, and I've been to the police. You do all that. You do all that as a target, trying to get help, and you get indifference. And the reason for that is because you're not important. You're just a person on the street to them. But when it came to CIA agents, diplomats, officials, the story changes. Maybe in your personal case they did. I can't speculate. I'm trying to read the comment here so I can think somebody wants me to talk about or say or yeah. If there is an outcome with their investigations, they are literally investigating the climate because it's happening to people that matter to them. I mean, they don't want CIA agents being or diplomats who might have sensitive information. One six. When I was self, because I understand on YouTube you're using pseudonyms or screen names. Well, if you are a target, they know your name, They know your address. They know all your family. They know all your friends. They know every fucking thing there is to know about you. Whether you're trying to maintain anonymity, 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 whether you're trying to maintain anonymity,
Yeah, sounds like hacking again, isn't it? So, controlling, controlling of the human mind, brain interface technologies, MI5, MI6, not so intelligent the way they were. But this has been going on for years. Everything you do on the Internet of Things, why do you think the Internet was created? Then they have to use their demonic on the subject of the targeted program. The subject of target individuals is a Neuralink. I mean, there's a futuristic program that is very more advanced. They're just warming the public up to the technology. Transhumanism and transhuman sort of like theories for the globalist elite always been around for centuries. They've trained their occult bloodline families up throughout their genealogy in the bloodlines for centuries, for years. Everything is now infiltrated to push this globalist agenda for total control of humanity. So I'm just one individual in an ocean of endless individuals. They're after the soul of those that have a conscience and are not part of their globalist plan. That they're awakened to the bigger picture of many subjects, interlinks to the ultimate control. And the TVs, and radios and programs has always been about, sci-fi especially, is about getting a mindset to really think it's a good idea to live forever. Or I could see my loved one and be there with them, but really the darker side of AI, transhumanism, will get rid of humanity. But when you actually look into the Book of Enoch and look into the research on that and the subject of fallen angels terminology, one will see the mix of the human DNA of non-human DNA, and they live among us, the fallen ones, and the shape-shifting abilities within that capability to mask the human, the human form these entities take, and they have to watch those that have this knowledge and just simple bit of information you may have. But for those of the stimulated reality, for example, there's a YouTube channel that one can search the history. But individual who's been uploaded for years, this technology is very knowledgeable in the research. I don't know their experience in computer technology, but in the early 80s, 90s, when technology first, i.e. the computer systems first, well, 70s, isn't it? Maybe even 60s or 50s. But the first implant was invented in 1950s, could have even been earlier, but in 15th century, the 13 bloodline families of the Illuminati. And I was just take it easy because I'm still got a head injury. Oh gosh, day 2. So trying to just get something to eat. So yeah, I'm just watching a stream playing it in the background of somebody who has a technology. It's called B2K, and anyone could have had it. The any medical in England. Really what I'm hearing. I had no clue it was because of my head injury of being so unwell. My eardrums are absolutely being fried in the cortex within the makeup in the head, and that didn't help with this constant head injury. I banged it badly. It's a freak accident. So you have to be careful, of, I do anyway, a physical movement. So if you want to research my brother was in the army, British Army, a long time ago now, but he did, I've kept documents and evidence of all this, but in different formats, offline as well. It's important to keep your information and keep a journal, and I've always done this ever since I can remember. Dates, times, who's done what and how. And the trauma based side, when that happened to me, well, it's always been happening to me for a long time, but the real first one, I was about 20 years of age. Always wondered why my brother kicked me out of his house and I had nowhere to go. And I had a baby at the time. And and he's not a true Christian when he does that. You don't do that to your family. And because I witnessed the abuse what he did to his children. And he wanted to hide it. And I wasn't going to say nothing to nobody. But he just didn't want people to witness. My nephew confided in me that was true. It was always true. And years later, obviously, the nephew got older. Memories are quick to forget, and they covered it all up, each to their own. So carry on with the information of the stream.
And for several years, I wasn't able to make a fist, but through perseverance and exercising myself, I'm able to do things I couldn't do it all. This arm was basically a dummy arm for a year after my accident. I mean, I wasn't able to pick up a cup of coffee with it. My bad here, but I can't do the things I used to do. But like I said, through perseverance and just sheer will and not giving up, I've been able to do a lot of things. I've mentioned about how I was diagnosed with COPD. When I was feeling ill, I wondered what was wrong with me. They took all kinds of blood tests and found out I had COPD. This isn't going to make a difference whether I smoke or not. It's not going to give me any more time. And that was initially why I wanted to basically create a comic book. Was when I realized, I'm going to die. I want to leave something behind. A reason for my being here. But the passion for comic books and being a comic book artist, on another program, I was offered a job drawing for someone's comic book on Drawn and Quartered Fan Edition that I won in a landslide victory. And I was in disbelief. I didn't believe it, and I voiced that opinion. But needless to say, I didn't take it. But during that area of my time on YouTube was where a lot of my targeting started. The V2K and then the remote neural monitoring. After being on the Pro Edition, not long after, the V2K and the remote neural monitoring and the intensive harassment started. Because I basically caught them stealing my idea, and they knew it. So, I don't know where else to go with that, but through provincial reasoning and recollection, self-discovery, the pervasive knowledge was just undeniable, and that later on that they're if you're a target, you know how blatant they are in telling you what's they're going to do and why they've done it. So in one of my recordings, for whatever reason, whether they're just that cocky and they think they're invincible and uncatchable, confess to all this shit. Confess to the song and the people who stole it being part of my targeting, the people who stole my comic ideas and using my artwork, and they're blatant about it. I mean, it's been going on for so long. It's like, why wouldn't they be? They know they'll get the assumption that there's nothing I can do about it. But over the time, I've gathered evidence, but my new legacy to the world is, with the time I have, is to raise awareness on gang stalking and fight it every way I can, and provide any information I can through my research and my experience. What's going on? Oh, that's horrible, Missy. I can't doubt it though, since they do go after your family, your friends. And I have to say, just here in the last few videos, maybe because I have been making an impact and trying to be as factual and forthcoming with it with the gang stalking. They actually came in here and threatened to kill me, burn my house down in the chat. They threatened people that were watching that you're going to start watching me now. You're now a target because you're listening to this guy and blah, blah, blah. And they were telling me, remove my videos, or that was when they were starting to say, were saying they're going to come kill me and burn my house down. But the reality is, I took that with a grain of salt because they've been threatening me with that shit for 3 years. It's not like it was anything of the just desensitized value of the threats. Yeah, and I'd be more than happy for one to come over so I can. But like I said, I'm not providing you with any research evidence today. I'm not putting links down or anything. But in previous videos, you can go back and look for yourself. Proofs I've found. I mean, like the website that they created a profile about me and claim I'm deceased. There's just so much. There's just so much they've done. When you're first targeted, and the first few months, like I said, of remote neural monitoring, the mental anguish and torture is like really hard to deal with. With the imagery, they try to use everything they can that might hurt you even a little bit, and that stuff. Oh, just shut the fuck up, Muddy. I'm sorry. That guy's a troll. He's a perp. That Muddy, he's a perp. He's one of the ones that was doing just what I'm talking about with the threats and the pervasive harassment. And I reported your ass, Muddy, I reported you. Are you happy? Yeah, he is. And like I said, I reported his ass. Excuse me again. And I hope when it comes down to it, they ban you from YouTube permanently. Yeah, you don't go to people's channels and threaten them, you stupid asshole. And slander them like all fucking hell like you're doing here. Okay. I am going to silence this person for good in here, however I can here, because I'm not hearing that shit. You're not going to harass my watchers. Me, it's a different story. You're done, dude. You're not coming back in. Let's see, how do I get it to work here? Oh, there it is. Bye. You're done, buddy. Sorry. I'm sorry about that, Missy. Anyway, doing that to me is one thing, but Doing it to you all is a different thing altogether. So I won't be unhiding him from this channel. That's permanent. You're done. Back to what I was saying, if I can remember before the rude interruption there. Remember what I was talking about. Oh, yeah. The chat threats and more than trolling, just literally saying, remove my videos or we're gonna kill you and things are gonna get worse for you, gang stalking. So I reported that to you. I don't like doing it, but I did because one of the other channels that I was visiting and just being a casual observer, one of the people from there had came over here to to view and be part of my channel and see what I was talking about. Was one of the people that this person was threatening that we're going to start targeting you now, we're going to start watching you, and a couple other people on the channel. I'm not happy with it. So if you're a smart curve, if you come to this channel, you'll keep your fucking answering threatening nobody. Like you. Yeah, that's who. That's you, buddy. Guess what? Thank you for coming in here. You're done. That was Agent 45 more minutes, the one that was threatening to kill me, come burn my house down, and some other shit saying he was an FBI agent. Then he said he was a PI. Then he was trying to just crap. Thank you for coming in so I can get rid of you. Thank you very much. Because I already reported you. Thank you very much. Yes, it is. You can go back and look at my previous. Well, I guess you can't now because I hit him. But I already reported that crap. Maybe maybe I should just undo that so that you can just see what kind of assholes they are all the time. That way you can see what kind of assholes they are in a general sense. But anyway, I don't have a problem with that reporting them for that shit. Like call you on the phone. John, like calling you on the phone. Or what? Was it a number that you were able to get? A phone number that you were able to get? That you were able to archive? doesn't matter. Denial isn't going to help because you can subpoena those records. You can subpoena those records of the conversation. Something else I've mentioned before. You are able, in the event of a legal battle, able to subpoena Google Street View records to include people, places, and things, if there is a viable need for it. Yeah, whatever. That's muddy, again. That Mike Oxford. You can go ahead and use your muddy account. I actually want to see what kind of anyhow. I can't emphasize enough searching yourself. Search yourself on Google to find anything that does not look right to you. Is that right? So that just leads me to the understanding that they're in the know about it. And if it's an immediate, what did you say, a psychiatric assessment, rather than a legal investigation, that just makes them look like being a perp. Not accepting your testimony for what it is. I mean, as I've done before, reasonable proof. I captured remote neural monitoring live. I've captured ETK live with this simple tablet, which anybody can do when they're broadcasting it or whatever, projecting their DSX. Now that's just ludicrous. That that they come to warn you off of it. But anyway, don't listen to this Oxford numbnuts. You can listen to the recordings yourself and hear the people speaking, a group of people with a very prevalent main voice doing a lot of the screaming. But I believe I'm going to probably end this video pretty quick. I have to take care of something. And you reported mobile phone hacking and they called an ambulance. Wow. Yeah, that's obvious part of the stalking. If they're not even going to report, if they're not even going to, recognize hacking, since it sounds to me like they obviously know you're being gang stalked, and if you say anything about it, they're going to try and silence you. But if I find the time and the inclination, I downloaded Audacity, which is a free audio editing program. It doesn't really have what I would like. It couldn't actually disseminate the voices from the interference. It did quite a bit when I presented the V2K short, but that's the only one that I've done it to where it amplifies the non-existent voices, as this nutty emoji guy will say, and brought them a little bit. And, but I guess that well, Cy, it's obvious they're getting away with something. I mean, you as a target know they're getting away with something. I understand that you're not experiencing the B2K or remote neural monitoring, but I've looked at your videos before. Yeah, interesting you would mention that, Muddy. Since they did steal my registration out of my car once. No, I'm not. You are. You know gang stalking exists. You're a perp. That's why you're in here all the time trying to say it doesn't exist. That's your narrative. Well, if you're not a perp, why are you so forcibly insistent on saying it isn't real when you haven't got a clue? Oh, I know that. I know they hate us telling the truth. They hate us talking about things stuff. But anyway, like I said, I'm going to wind this video down. You can fact check the things that I've said today about what happened to me on YouTube. You can go search those pages out yourself, and you can look through my previous videos before I was initially targeted, when I used to spend all my time sitting here drawing. You can look at those videos and even hear the actual comic book ideas that I created. And even go to the other streams that I used to be on before I started getting targeted by certain individuals in the comic book community here on YouTube. So I do have to go because I need to go. So have a good day. Thanks for coming out, and be vigilant and try and get proof of the perks. That's all I can say. Have a good day. Upside down. Using the B2K technology, which resembles Audio Spotlight.
A certain subject, so powers that be off, amen to that. You can go and watch that.
Well, people still come up to me and talk to me about where they were when Joe was killed, and their lives have just been changed. And it's so hard because we've got a job to do, and I find myself now, working as a politician and trying to help people and trying to do good things for people. And it's really important that we get good people in public life. But this is the risk that we're all taking, and so many MPs today will be scared by this.
And these guys are totally giving it away when they come out with statements that everything I say is a lie. No, folks, everything they say is a lie. We are at war with agents of subversion, agents of disinformation, agents of perversion, agents of satanization, agents of death. They love death, folks. It's a death cult. And it really is the chosen versus the human cattle. And that is the dichotomy, folks. And you need to understand that, okay? That is the game. And they don't realize that we are on to their big picture. They don't realize just how much people know what's up. Maybe they do, and that's why they're acting so scared and they're playing so dirty by smearing and lying and psychological warfaring everybody and confusing everybody and trying to drown everybody in a two-dimensional world of lies and utter filth. It is unbelievable the amount of lies and filth in the media. It is unbelievable the amount of psychotic, sociopathic filth in the movies. It is unbelievable the amount of BS and lies and cowardice and crap in these churches. It is unbelievable what a disgrace the pillars of our society have become. These esteemed fields of study, these esteemed agencies that in my book have